Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photo chats. So today I'm talking about how the camera doesn't matter, but sometimes it does. It doesn't really, because all that matters is the work we see and the work we share. And people look at the work and they're enamored by the composition or the light or the expression or whatever it is. They're not saying what camera, and if it's the wrong answer, they're not going to like it. Either they like it or they don't. That said, I recently, at a local antique market, I picked up this Exacta because it's like a little piece of beauty. Look at the design of that. Look at that logo. It's an Exacta VX. It's made in Eastern Germany with a 58 millimeter f2 lens. And there's something about using beautifully designed, beautifully made cameras. Again, like the Rolleiflex, when I do Rolleiflex portraits, to approach people with them. This lens is supposed to be really known for its swirly bokeh, and I'm figuring I'm just going to go out and make portraits of people and photograph some street with it. But most of my street with film is portraits, and certainly the camera has a little bit of a look to it that says this is not a DSLR. Even the brown leather case and the crazy old fancy 60s style camera strap all says this is a different kind of a photograph. And if you've never worked with an Exacta, they're heavy, they're kind of clunky, they're left wind, you wind with your left hand. They have a feature inside. If I take this off, I can show you. Oop, there it goes. They have a feature inside where there's a little blade, and literally inside the back of the camera, see if I can open this for you. To remember how to open it. There's actually a little blade right here, and you can take it, unscrew it, and you can cut your film. You can cut your film with this blade. And that blade will make it so that your film is now split from what was shot versus what wasn't shot. And you'd have to take out your film in a dark bag and pull it out and process it. But you could shoot 12 frames, cut it, pull it out in a dark bag, develop that film, and then reload what's left on the spool. Actually, I said that wrong because this is the spool side. This is the spool side because it also winds right to left. Everything about this is a little bit backwards. So it's cutting it right next to the can of film. You would process the film off of this spool, and then you would have a new leader cut onto that piece of film, and you could shoot it again. So there's a simplicity to that. If you ever needed to, like, say I'm going to shoot a partial roll of film, let me put this back, and you could end up shooting 12 frames, pull out the film, and then continue to shoot more. You'd lose a frame, but it gives you a way to pull the film out. Probably photojournalists, they were thinking of back in the day, want to shoot a few frames, get the film out, and get going, save the film. It's a left wind camera. It's also a left shutter. And so you literally press it in the front of the camera with your left hand. Everything about it's a little bit odd and clunky. The finder is kind of big and bright, but it feels like a ground glass finder because it is. And when you make a photograph, the mirror doesn't come back until you wind it. So it's definitely an odd, slow, clunky camera, but its design is so brilliant. You can definitely get people enamored with it just by the look of it, and you can use it to, again, make connections, talk to people, start conversations. If you're an extrovert like me, that's easy for me to do. I like talking to people. I like reaching out to them. If the camera doesn't matter, that camera doesn't matter either. If you're using the camera as a way to be an introduction, maybe the camera helps make those introductions. But no matter how great the camera looks, no matter how fancy it is, no matter how great it's rated and how great the DxO scores of the lenses are, you have to like the photographs. And at the end of the day, cameras don't matter. But the right tool does matter. The right tool for the job, when I photographed those graduation and Olympics photos, having two big lenses, or two lenses, a wide and a super telephoto, they make a difference. Everybody else, they were shooting with their phone. They don't have the photos I made because they didn't have the right equipment. The right equipment does make a difference, especially for certain things, specialty photos for sure, sports, things like that. But when it comes down to it, the photo is what matters. People want to connect to the photo. And having the right gear, knowing what that is, even when people say I'm an available light photographer, I only shoot by available light, I always say a flash is an available light if you have one in your pocket. And strobe is an incredible way to work to create some amazing photographs because you can bring light to things. We don't photograph stuff, we photograph the light on stuff, and you can add light. So there is a time for that. And I'm a fan of having the right gear for the proper purpose. I certainly take the right amount of gear to everything I shoot. But when it comes down to making the final photograph, as long as you have what you need and you make the photograph, people just want to see the work and say, show me what you did. Let me see the photo. And then hopefully they're enamored by the quality and the tone and what you expressed with whatever camera you have. All right, that's today's photography talk. Hey, if you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support it, hit the Patreon. Thanks for spending Saturday morning with me. I'll be back next week. We'll talk more photography. As always, here's the good light.